Lynda Kinkade. Welcome to CNN Newsroom. Well, the 100 US senators who control Brett Kavanaugh's path to the country's highest court have finally declared their hand. And in just a matter of hours, they're expected to confirm US President Trump's pick to a lifetime appointment on the Supreme Court. Kavanaugh will take up a key position on a court split along party lines. His confirmation will make it the most conservative Supreme Court in nearly a century. Kavanaugh could have a major impact on abortion and family planning laws for decades to come. Now all that's left is to make it official. A confirmation vote is expected in the coming hours. You're looking at a live look at the Senate floor where Democrats pulled an all-nighter and continue speaking against Kavanaugh's nomination. Well, CNN Supreme Court analyst Joan Biskupic has covered the Supreme Court for 25 years, has written several books on it. She joins us now from Washington. Good to have you with us, Joan.
Thank you, Linda.
Firstly, for our international audience, just explain why this is so significant. Why should we care?
It's a fabulous question, especially since right now this moment seems so imbued in politics, in the Me Too moment, in questions about sexual assault. But here's the reality. Brett Kavanaugh is only 53 years old. He is appointed to a lifetime position. He will be determining the law in America for probably 2, maybe even 3 decades. So after this becomes just a vague memory in people's minds, he will endure, and he will be part of President Trump's most enduring legacy on our federal judiciary.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. And Joan, as I mentioned, most people have shown their hands, and it looks like he is set to be confirmed later today. One senator, Alaskan Senator Murkowski, said she is opposed to Brett Kavanaugh, says he's not right for the court, but she's not voting against him. She's voting present. It sounds very political, what she's doing.
What she's doing is actually procedural. She's trying to match her vote with a senator who cannot get back on time because of his daughter's wedding. But she made a very impassioned speech. And Linda, she's the only Republican senator who is not voting for Brett Kavanaugh. This is a very strong party line vote, which gives you some sense of what's happening here. And what she said was that she fears for things like abortion rights. She fears for many of the social policy issues that Anthony Kennedy, who Brett Kavanaugh would succeed, had determined. The man who Brett Kavanaugh will replace now, when he's confirmed today, and as you noted to the audience, it's essentially a done deal. The man who he will succeed held a really key vote in so many social dilemmas: gay marriage, racial affirmative action, abortion rights. And those were the kinds of things that concerned Lisa Murkowski, a Republican senator from Alaska. But her vote, Linda, to get to your question about why she's voting the way she's doing, has nothing to do with how she actually feels about him. It's more procedural because of this pairing for a senator who cannot get back in time.
Right. Joan, there are a lot of questions about whether Kavanaugh will be impartial, whether he will vote along party lines. I just want to remind our viewers of what he said during his confirmation hearing. Let's just take a listen.
This whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit, fueled with apparent pent-up anger about President Trump and the 2016 election, revenge on behalf of the Clintons, and millions of dollars in money from outside left-wing opposition groups.
Now, he went on to write an op-ed about that, saying, yes, I was emotional, but I hope everyone can understand I was there as a son, a husband, a dad. Is that enough to appease people who think he doesn't have the temperament to sit on the highest court in the land?
This is the crucial question, because everybody comes to the Supreme Court, and anyone who's appointed a justice has his or her own baggage. We all know that. People come from different kinds of backgrounds. They've had different kinds of experiences. But the idea of our third branch is that it will be neutral. And Chief Justice John Roberts has used the metaphor of the umpire. And everything that Brett Kavanaugh said in that second set of hearings, when he came on as a bit of a partisan warrior, undercut that idea. So when he wrote that Wall Street Journal op-ed piece on Thursday night, he was probably speaking to key senators to make sure that the confirmation does go on, which it will. But he was also speaking to a wider crowd of the American people, of fellow lawyers, and his would-be new colleagues, saying, I can be independent. I did sound like someone who might not be independent. He acknowledged that in that essay. But he's going to have to take other steps, I believe, to reassure people of the fact that he would not be a partial partisan.
Absolutely. And for the past week, we were awaiting that FBI investigation into the allegation of sexual assault against him by 2 of 3 women. Republicans voting yes, saying that the FBI found no corroborating evidence. But Senate Democrats are calling that investigation a sham. They're saying it's a cover-up. It wasn't done properly. Is this appointment, if it's confirmed, always going to be tainted?
Well, I'm sure that he hopes not, and I'm sure his critics are going to remind us all of this episode for many years, decades to come. But he does enter the Supreme Court with a cloud over his head. This isn't the first time. Obviously, in 1991, with Clarence Thomas and the allegations from Anita Hill of sexual harassment hung over him. In both cases, the men categorically denied the claims, and things were left unresolved. In 1991, Clarence Thomas has gone on to vote very conservatively, but I believe that many observers of the court, many legal analysts believe that he's voting his true ideology rather than any kind of payback. And the issue now will be, is Brett Kavanaugh going to give a fair hearing toward all the many critics who came out against him? Many liberal activists, the ACLU here, more than 2,400 law professors, several institutions of the legal community raised questions about him or formally opposed him. So that's a very big deal for him to be coming onto the Supreme Court with hanging over his head. But as I said at the outset, this is a lifetime appointment, so he will have many years, decades, to try to show that he is impartial.
You certainly will. All right, Joan Biskupic, great to get your analysis and perspective. Thanks so much.
Thank you.